So here's some news I thought was interesting. CNN is now selling a bunch of stuff as NFTs. Things like the fall of the Berlin Wall, their newscast and such. So this is like, I was just at a conference yesterday, and like I said there, the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs are all here, whether you like it or not. I think they're all complete garbage. However, there's a lot of things that are pretty awful, like handguns and prostitution and alcohol and cigarettes. There's a whole lot of damn stupid things out there. And once they get established and they're part of your society, you're stuck with them and you got to deal with it. So all this stuff is really going to happen. It's really going to be out there. And so we ought to learn how it works. And God have mercy on us. I suppose, I always kind of didn't like frivolous stuff like pop music and comedians, because it's all based on nothing. They'll be in fashion and then a few months later they're out of fashion and they go broke. And that's what this stuff is. I mean, something is popular like a meme stock and it goes up, but for no apparent reason, then it suddenly goes down. And there's nothing actually connected to any real value or anything there. But anyway, a lot of this stuff going on. I think the same thing happened before the last big crash in the 20s. A lot of people felt rich and just started throwing money around like idiots. These things do reach a natural end. So I highly recommend not putting all your money in risky stuff and saving your money, because this is all nonsense and it is going to collapse sooner or later. But that's what the sour old men always say about the new exciting stuff. So somebody in China has made a 2,000 machine botnet, and they're using it to leech on Ubuntu for some ungodly reason. Which apparently makes it so that if you try to upload Ubuntu, it will lie to you and tell you it didn't get a block and make all your upstreaming torrents go. So they went through an interesting analysis figuring out what's going on and where it's going on, but why anybody would do it, I don't know. I don't know how anybody benefits from this. Anyway, I think the point is to stop people from shipping Ubuntu over BitTorrent, but I don't know why. You can download Ubuntu directly. Anyway, it's a very strange thing. Perhaps it's some kind of test of something before they use it for some action that has more productivity, like performing a DDoS attack on somebody or something. I was amazed. Zero Hedge is like blacklisted by a lot of people as a alt-right website. One of my friends loves it, and they had the best news story about this topic today. So on financial matters, they're not always wrong. Anyway, Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is a imitation of Dogecoin. It's worth almost nothing. It's worth like a millionth of a penny. But it has gone up incredibly fast. They pushed it as like basically an alternative to Dogecoin, copying the same art and everything. And so it's gone up by, 100 times. From like 1/100th of a millionth of a penny up to a millionth of a penny. And it went up so fast today, Coinbase added it, and then Coinbase crashed. And apparently a lot of the other exchanges crashed. And this is one of the many insane things about cryptocurrency. Whenever there is a big movement of any cryptocurrency up or down, the blockchains all get flooded and crash, and the exchanges all crash, and you can't do anything about it, which is exactly what happened in 1929 when the stock market crashed. This means that if you ever have an urgent need to get your money, or to do anything with your money, like move it from one asset to another, you won't be able to. So, it's... there you go. It went down. And Coinbase is the best of the marketplaces, but it went down. So a lot of people are doing this. They have all these Bluetooth trackers from Appa. Shiba is the breed pictured on Dogecoin. Yeah, the breed pictured on Dogecoin. That's right. No other connection than that. Right. It has the same picture. And it was just an imitation of Dogecoin. And Dogecoin was a joke that took Bitcoin and removed everything that made any sense and deliberately did everything wrong as a joke. So Dogecoin is inflationary. There's an endless supply of it. They just keep printing more. It does not have any limit like Bitcoin. Everything that made Bitcoin sensible, they took it out and made the stupidest coin on earth, and it was supposed to just be a joke, and nobody was supposed to take it seriously. And then when the price went up and it added up to a lot of money, they started donating it to a lot of charities and made a sort of happy, frivolous community of people that don't take it very seriously, which is really pretty nice. It turned into sort of a happy club of sort of altruistic people. But as a currency, it was never intended for anybody to take it seriously for any purpose. It was deliberately a joke, doing everything wrong. And Shiba Inu is just an imitation trying to get rich. And now apparently it's worked pretty well for the early adopters, where they moved it. It's gone up by an awful lot. In I think it's been around for about 6 months, and it's gone up like 1,000 times in that time period or something. So in principle, some people have gained a lot of money, I suppose. Anyway, so these Bluetooth trackers are all the rage. Apple has a little tracking device you can put on things. See, somebody says, friends asked what I thought about the new SHIB coin. Yeah. Just to catch people who felt they missed out on Doge. That's right, but this is the thing about all these meme stocks and everything, things that are apparently worthless. The actual value of it means nothing. All that matters is, will it become popular? It's like TikTok. You put some video on TikTok of you like singing for 3 minutes, and if it's a hit, then you get really popular really fast. And so these meme stocks and crypto coins are a way to actually monetize temporary popularity. So it's an interesting issue. This is why you could say it's brilliant. I mean, there are things that go viral. Like there's certain memes we've all seen. People watch this one little image 100 million times, and yet the people in that image didn't get any money. Now they have ways to somehow make money out of just getting popular on the internet. So in some ways, I guess that makes sense. It's a curious thing. And if people pay for music, you could just download the music on BitTorrent. It could all be free too, so why are you paying for it anyway? And yet people do. If it's popular enough, a lot of people pay for it. So, maybe they're right and it makes sense. It's certainly different than the old models of money and such. Anyway, they got these Bluetooth trackers, there's from Apple and other companies. You put this little gadget in your car or something, and it will connect to Bluetooth networks every place it goes by and give you a location of your car. And so people can find lost objects this way, but what they're doing now is finding stolen cars and stolen bicycles and stuff. And the problem is, when somebody steals your bicycle and you go on Apple Where's My Thing and find out where it is and go over there and you find the crook with your bicycle, now what? You're going to go start a fight? You're going to rob it back? Some people are doing that. Other people are calling the cops and talking the cops into going and getting it back, but the cops don't like that because they've got usually better things to do than solve one crime like that. And so they're probably not really going to be available for that. So Apple does not recommend using it to track stolen objects for this reason, because what are you going to do? They're going to end up getting people killed, confronting thieves. And the other thing the cops say, which is entirely true, is when you find your stolen car and you storm up and demand the car, that might not be the person that stole it. They might have stole it and sold it. This is just some random guy that bought what they thought was a legit used car. So if you're like beating them up and taking the car back, they're not going to take kindly to that. That's what happened to you? Well, what happened, Good Word Alchemy? You bought your truck got stolen, yeah. And did you get it back? And then sold, right, yeah. And then did you get it back after that? But the person who bought it probably wasn't in the mood to just hand it over, right? I mean, what do? I think you really need like the police or a lawsuit or something at that point. The people who were caught in it bought it. The cops. So the cops pulled them in. You didn't track it down yourself. Yeah, well, that's good. If the police do it, that's a whole lot better because, then you're not getting shot or run over trying to get your truck back. But it's this thing where you put a tracker in it and then track it down yourself is a kind of vigilante justice that the cops, of course, never like. So, vaccine is coming out for kids, and a lot of people are freaking out about whether to give the vaccine to their kids. And one belief is that kids don't suffer much from COVID, but now it's the number 3 cause of death in kids. This is interesting because I also thought the kids didn't die of COVID much, but I've heard they're dying a lot more of the new strain, Delta. It's killing more kids. And they talk about the rate of various things killing kids. And here it is. The number one thing that kills kids is cancer, 1,800 deaths a year, heart disease 600, and COVID is now 570. So it's not a small risk that your kid will die of COVID. I mean, it might be a small risk in percentage terms, but it's the number 3 largest risk. This, by the way, is an amazing thing. That's the most important health thing that ever happened to the human race was clean water. Kids used to die of things like dysentery and huge amounts. If number one thing that kills kids in America is cancer, then we've really killed a lot of the old childhood things. The reason people used to have families of 10 kids is because half of them would die in infancy. Looks like infant mortality has gone way down. Heart disease, I know. Well, it can't be what they're eating. I think what it is heart defects. A lot of kids are born with defective hearts. It's a fairly common birth defect. I've heard of it. There's various, just their heart isn't fully developed or something. It's not coronary artery disease, I think. So this is a pretty big deal. In the world of physics, neutrinos are these particles that fly through everything, and there's 3 kinds of neutrinos, and one of the fundamental mysteries in physics is why is there so much matter and not more antimatter? And they thought they had it solved by postulating an invisible 4th kind of neutrino, but they have proven that that does not exist. And so now they're back to the drawing board trying to figure out why there is matter more than there's antimatter. Anyway, let me go on to the next bit because this is the stuff very relevant to this class. I found a lot of interesting cryptocurrency stuff. I'm going to talk tonight about smart contract vulnerabilities and how to exploit them. And we saw last time, I think I showed you Glow, the new language that's better, that's much safer to use. And apparently there's another language designed to handle the vulnerabilities of Solidity, which is the language most smart contracts are written in, called Clarity, which I have not used. But this guy says Clarity is designed to prevent those smart contract vulnerabilities. So it would be interesting to see what that's like. And maybe I'll get some projects up on Clarity. But I've never used it. I just read about it today when I was researching this stuff. And when I did the talk yesterday at a conference, Caitlin was there and she said, can you have buffer overflows and memory corruption on the blockchain like you would in C? And I wondered about that. And there is, in fact, a vulnerability that's not even a month old. There's something called Viper, which is another language to write contracts on the blockchain and it has a memory corruption vulnerability. It's a Pythonic smart language. And it has a condition under which you reserve memory on the blockchain and it returns the wrong pointer. So you end up with a dangling pointer pointing to the wrong address on the blockchain. And it sounds like a standard memory corruption attack. So it would be interesting. I haven't seen an exploit for this one, but apparently there are, some fundamental low-level memory corruption vulnerabilities in blockchain smart contract products. So maybe we can get all the classic stuff, stack buffer overflow, heap buffer overflow, dangling pointer, double free, all that kind of stuff. Some versions of that stuff might actually be possible on the blockchain. Although none of the projects I've written so far use that kind of low-level attack. They're all higher level, logic flaws. Anyway, there's a big hack today of something called Cream. All I know is this article and this tweet thread. Cream is another one of these blockchain products that is, I've heard quite a few of these. There's a bunch of products now that move money across blockchains. They support more than one blockchain, so you can move one cryptocurrency to another. And Cream is one of them. There was one about a month ago that got hacked to a big scale. This one, they stole over $100 million in a flash loan attack. And they tell you a little bit about it here, but this thread explains it much better than anything else, I think. Although I don't know I haven't seen any technical write-ups to prove this is true, but what he says is it's a place where you can invest money and you can borrow money. So what you do is you invest some money, these pickup trucks full of gold bars, then you bring another one and lend it. So you give money to the bank, then you borrow it, then you deposit it at another bank, all of which controlled by the same guy. And because you're depositing at the other bank, the price changes. So now you go back and borrow more because your collateral of the gold bars you put in appears to be worth more. This is the trick. And this is basically the fundamental problem with all these unregulated blockchain products. You can do price manipulation. So it sounds like it's a sophisticated form of pump and dump. He moved some other cryptocurrency in and borrowed money and used that money to buy more cryptocurrency on a different blockchain that caused the price to go up. So now when he went back and borrowed more money, he was given more money because the price had gone up. And then he could repeat this and pump and pump and pump until he had a lot of money, which is essentially what happens on a lot of these blockchain products. And it used to happen on the stock market and elsewhere. And that's why we have bank regulations and auditing requirements and lawsuits and the Security Exchange Commission and all that good stuff to prevent this. And that's what you don't get when you use cryptocurrency. It's just the Wild West with people throwing money around and scamming everybody right and left. Anyway, that's how they stole $100 million from Cream, whatever the heck that is. All right. All right. And I think I'll just mention this one. This one is actually extremely useful. I'm going to throw it in the chat. This one is real serious news, and everybody should pass this on to any clients you have if you're doing any security consulting. The number one thing everybody says when you get hacked is you should have used multi-factor authentication. You know, the normal way you get hacked is phishing emails. They get a password, they get in somebody's account, or they find a dump of passwords, and they say, you know, everybody should just be using two-factor authentication, and you shouldn't be using this lousy SMS-based two-factor. You should all be using two-factor with those hardware USB keys, because that's much more secure. And so Twitter did that, and they explained exactly how they rolled it out. And they say, you know, the best thing you could do is convince any company you work at or you know about to switch before they get hacked. Because you're going to have to go to two-factor. Everybody's getting hacked right and left. You either do it now or you wait till you get hacked and then you do it. But Google did it. Now Twitter did it. Everybody with any intelligence is moving to two-factor. And this is extremely helpful information. They talk about how they prepared for it, how it took 3 months. They talk about the different technical standards to use. They talk about the different devices that are available, which one turns out to be the best one to buy and use. They talk about the difficulties, the kind of devices that don't do two-factor well, the kind of websites that don't, and how you work around it. You know, very useful information so that you could save yourself a whole lot of grief by just following the model of a company that already figured out how to do it. It's not that easy. You know, it's relatively expensive. It's kind of a lot of work. But you know, how expensive is it to get hacked? And like I say, that the companies I'm doing consulting for now, I'm getting more and more impressed with their security. A lot of companies are tired of getting hacked, and they're done messing around, and they're implementing serious good security training, which is the part I see, and they're also implementing good security practices like two-factor and air gaps and everything. So, you know, the standards of running, how secure you got to be to run a business these days have gone up a lot. Anyway, I'm going to stop the news part and make a separate video